What's up, party people? I hope your week was good, productive, restful, happy, whatever you were up to, I don't know. Yeah, more books today. So, first one in the stack is the Wordsworth Book of Love Poetry. So, just has a bunch of love poems in it. I might have to censor that. I'm not sure if YouTube allows that. There's some medieval boobs on the front. Sorry. Yeah, lots of little cool poems in here. Here's a good one from Yeats called The Mermaid. A mermaid found a swimming lad, picked him for her own, pressed her body to his body, laughed, and plunging down, forgot in cruel happiness that even lovers drown. So yeah, just lots of love poems. I don't know, what is there more to say? So yeah, cool. I like compilations like that. It's nice. Next up we have we have 5 plays from a man named Anton Chekov, okay? Born 1860, I believe. He was a physician by trade, okay? He's famous for saying that medicine was his lawful wife, but literature was his mistress. So he wrote in his spare time. And this compilation here has 5 of his most famous plays, those being Ivanov, The Seagull, Uncle Vanya, Three Sisters, and The Cherry Orchard. So, yeah, I'm not going to give you a summary of each of those. But yeah, Chekov. I have 2 of his 2 books, which are compilations of his short stories, but I don't have any of his plays, which I think he's more known for his plays. So, good to finally get that. Next up, we have a dude from, I think, 1721, so 18th century, kind of old, and that is Tobias Smollett and his Adventures or Expedition of Humphrey Clinker. Here it is right here. Now, this book, sorry, the glare is kind of bad. This book has a good old smell to it. Yep, it's got that old book smell. Anyway, what do I want to say about it? I'm not actually sure if it has like a very unified plot, okay? It's an epistolary novel. Okay, epistolary means it's in a series of letters, which I like that style. It's fun. Yeah. Tobias Smollett, Scottish. I think that the characters also romp around Scotland in the book, but I don't know. I'll have to wait till I read it. Next up, we have a subset of William Blake's poems, The Songs of Innocence and Experience. Now, William Blake was an engraver or what would you call it? Illustrator? Not an illustrator. Yeah, he made woodcuts, and they were very distinct. Like if you see a woodcut or an engraving done by William Blake, you can instantly tell that it's done by him. So he really did a good job of kind of solidifying his own personal style. And he also was a poet and a writer. I just finished reading Northrop Frye's a book on him called Fearful Symmetry, and a lot of it went over my head. Okay, William Blake, he was like kind of quasi-mystic or like into sort of like occult, like esoteric stuff. He read too much Emanuel Swedenborg, and then his poems were incomprehensible, at least to us. So it's highly symbolic, and you need sort of a lot of understanding of, yeah, I don't even know. It's hard to get at what he really means. But not all his poems involve that sort of esoteric symbolism. Some of them are really accessible. So yeah, looking forward to reading this. Which I might read sooner than later, just because I finished reading the Fearful Symmetry. So yeah, who knows? Might bump this up. Next up, I keep thinking I have all of Kipling, and then I keep finding more. So I'm happy about that. But here's his first short story compilation he ever published, called Plain Tales from the Hills. And apparently he thought it was like a pun. He thought it was funny because a plain, right, is flat, and hills are hilly, so it's like a juxtaposition. Plain Tales from the Hills. He thought that was quite funny. Anyways, I'm not sure if other people did, but yeah, thanks Kipling. Apparently it was given a 5-star review by Oscar Wilde, so cool. Gonna read that eventually. I think most of them are set in British India as well, so yeah, cool. Next up, I don't have much to say about this one. It's just like a compilation of battle stories from World War II, from the Saturday Evening Post. It's a very colorful book. We've got the red waxed edges and a bright yellow backing, so this is something to look at for sure. Do we have any authors we would know in here? Aside from C.S. Forster, no, we do not. But yeah, maybe one day one of my sons will be into war stuff and will read this. I'm not really into war stuff, but yeah. Next up we have, and I hate doing this, It's only a partial set, okay? I like buying full sets, of course. Why wouldn't you? But this is the first 2 volumes out of the tetralogy, so 4, of The History of the English-Speaking Peoples by Winston Churchill. Now, most people know Churchill as a statesman, right? The Prime Minister, I think, is what the UK has. Anyways, the Prime Minister during the Second World War, so very influential in that sense. But he also was known as a writer, which is impressive because he was more of an autodidact, okay? He didn't receive any university degree. He just was well-read. So the first 2 volumes here are The Birth of Britain, right there. And then the second one is The New World. So a nice picture of a ship there on the front. So I'm missing volume 3 and 4, but I think I saw them at Value Village, so maybe I'll go back next week and see if they're still there. But yeah, cool. The last book in our stack today is a Canadian classic. And I didn't even know about it until I bought it. But now I'm happy that I know about it. And it is called Who Has Seen the Wind by W.O. Mitchell. And yeah, it was written in 1930 something, I think, like a while ago. Let's see if it says 1947. Okay, and the title "Who Has Seen the Wind" is stolen from a poem by Christina Rossetti, and Rossetti, along with Huysman, are some of my favorite poets. So I'm happy to see that. The poem from Rossetti, from which the title is taken, goes like this: "Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I. But when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing by." So yeah, cool. Apparently it's about a guy living in Saskatchewan, and it's kind of a coming-of-age novel where he is coming to terms with the cyclic nature of like life and death. So maybe highly philosophical novel, which I like. Anyways, that's the stack for today. Now we're going to get into the short story from O'Connor, and again, every week they're so good, but this one was also so good, and that we read Revelation. So yeah, I guess I'll just get into a summary. One thing that you should be aware of beforehand, well, there's a few things. One, the main character is pretty racist. Secondly, Flannery O'Connor is Catholic, and she derives a lot of themes from the Bible, and this one especially, okay? So on Wikipedia, if you look up the summary of or the article on Wikipedia for each of her short stories, usually they have like a short summary and intro, and it's maybe like a page. This one is like crazy. It's like longer than the short story itself. It's probably like 20-30 pages. Like it's a lot. So that leads me to believe that this is perhaps her most significant or most symbolically dense short story that she has. It won her third O. Henry Award in 1960 something. But yeah, it was good. So I'll try to give you a summary. Oh, and the one other thing you should know is one of the main themes takes heavily from a short section of the Bible here in Luke chapter 18 verses 9 to 14. I'll read it to you quickly. It's the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector, and one of the main character in the book is the Pharisee, or likened to the Pharisee in this parable. So it goes like this: to some who are confident of their own righteousness, to some who are confident of their own righteousness and look down on everyone else, Jesus told this parable. 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed, "God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week and give 1/10 of all I get." But the tax collector stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." I tell you that this man, rather than the other, went home justified before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all those who humble themselves will be exalted. So the idea there being the Pharisee is a do-gooder, right? And he thinks he's going to be saved by his works or the things that he does, but he is not humble. His heart's not in the right place. Whereas the tax collector, he lives like a bad lifestyle, but he's like truly repentant. He recognizes that he's a sinner and he's humble, and so God says, or Jesus says in this case, that the tax collector is the one that goes home justified because his heart is in the right place. Anyways, the characters in Revelation are Mrs. Turpin, who's described as kind of a fat, like black beady-eyed lady. and she's very self-righteous, like the Pharisee in the parable. And then we have her husband, Claude, and then we have a white trashy lady. I don't think she's ever given a name. She's just literally referred to as white trashy lady the entire short story. And then we also have Mary Grace, who is the daughter of the well-dressed lady. And I also don't think she's given a name. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But the well-dressed lady is there, and with her daughter, Mary Grace. And Mary Grace is like a college student. She's like described as being blue with acne, so her face is like totally broken out, and she's very ugly. And she's also fat, I believe, and with bright blue eyes. And yeah, she's like a scholar. And so the setting of the short story is they're in a doctor's office. Okay, the Turpins are there. So Claude and Mrs. Turpin are there because Claude got kicked by a horse and he's got like an ulcer on his leg. White trashy lady is there because her kid has an ulcer on his stomach. And then I'm not sure why Mary Grace is there with her mother. I forget. Anyways, the first like half of the short story, at least, or like 2/3, is like kind of like plotless. There's no plot. It's just like them talking in the waiting room. And I'm glossing over a lot of details, of course, but the main thrust of that section is basically Mrs. Turpin just kind of looking down on everybody. Like she basically prays the same prayer as the Pharisee in the short story. Like she's like, and I think she even says it out loud too. Like, oh, thank you for not making me like, thank you for not making me, what does she say? Like white trash or like ugly or anything. She's just very happy and like self-righteous with the fact that like God gave her like clean skin and like that she's white and that she has money and has land. Which, I mean, I don't know if we know too much of her backstory, but it's implied that like she didn't really work for it. She's like born into it. And so she's very self-righteous. And as the conversation progresses throughout the first 2/3, Mary Grace is getting more and more aggravated because she's trying to read a book or whatever, but she's like not very patient. And so she's just like slamming the book and like staring at people and like just being a menace. And so the white trashy lady is like interjecting into the conversation, also super racist. And does she say anything significant? I'm not even sure. Anyways, the main plot sort of thing that occurs is that eventually Mary Grace like just loses her chill and she throws her book at Mrs. Turpin, hits her in above the eye and like gives her like a bruise and like a welt, and then jumps on her and tries to choke her and like throttle her. And of course there's a bunch of other people in the waiting room who like pull her off, but before they do so, they pull her off. She's like struggling. The doctor gives her a shot to like put her under, so she'll stop struggling. And like as she's going out, she like says to Mrs. Turpin, "You're a fat warthog from hell." And Mrs. Turpin, obviously being very self-righteous and thinking highly of herself, is very taken aback and confused. She's like, "Wait, what? Like, I thought I was like a good person," but it sticks with her, right? And so they go home or whatever after Claude gets his leg looked at, and she meets up with some of the farm hands that are working on her farm. And then she kind of just has more self-righteous thoughts. She's like, she tells them the story of what happened at the waiting room at the doctor's office, and they're like, "Whoa, you're the nicest lady we know." And she's like, "Oh, well, thank you." But it kind of feeds her ego, and then she's like, "Oh, these people are idiots." And she, again, just like thinking down on other people and thinking of herself as so much better. And then she goes to see, so they have hogs on their farm, in like a pen that's like concrete with a slope so they can like wash it and like keep it clean. And she's like happy about the fact that they keep their hogs clean. Anyways, she goes to see them and she's like spraying them down with the hose. And she has like this weird revelation where like not a eureka moment, but like a prophetic vision basically. And I'm probably gonna butcher it all what happens, but basically, oh man, she's washing the hogs, and then she's like ruminating over what Mary Grace told her. I'm not a fat warthog from hell. Like what's going on? And she is basically like reliving the incident and like talking to Mary Grace, but no one's there. It's just the hogs. And so she's like, "Who do you think you are?" And then it echoes back to her, "Who do you think you are?" And so it's like God asking her, "Who do you think you are?" Because you're so on your high horse, right? And so that's kind of like a poetic moment for sure, right there. And then, oh man, I'm having a brain fart. Yes, she sees a vision of like people ascending to heaven, and the people that enter heaven first, similar to the previous short story, the lame shall enter first. All the people who are like white trashy and like down in society and like aren't perfect, they're all the ones that are rejoicing and entering heaven first. Because like the tax collector, even though they lived a bad life, their repentance was like a true repentance, and they humbled themselves. They knew that they were at fault, and that they were sinners. And then the people behind them are, and there's like a good line about, sorry, I'll find what it says, because it's kind of a, let's see here. So after the people that are, she describes as freaks and lunatics, bringing up the end of the procession was a tribe of people whom she recognized at once as those who, like herself and Claude, had always had a little of everything and the God-given wit to use it right. She observed them closer. They were marching behind the others with great dignity, accountable as they had always been for some good order and common sense and respectable behavior. They alone were on key, referring to the singing. Yet she could see by their shocked and altered faces that even their virtues were being burned away. So like all the things that she prides herself on, like her do-goodedness and all those other things, even that was being burned away as she entered heaven. So as a Catholic, she believes in like purgatory and like justifying fire that like burns away like the bad bits of you before you enter heaven. And so she always thought that her virtue was like what constituted her character, and that's what was going to justify her to be saved. But in her vision, her prophetic vision, even her virtues are being burned away because they're part of her prideful nature. So the revelation, like this short story is called Revelation, the revelation she receives from Mary Grace, who acts as a prophet, is that she's a sinner and that her works don't justify her salvation. And she needs to lose her pride or her self-righteousness in order to enter heaven. So she realizes that she is a fat warthog from hell, and that she does need to change that. So yeah, it was a very good short story. What was I going to say about it? Oh, there's a cool connection that I saw online somewhere. Anyways, O'Connor kept peacocks. It was like one of her hobbies, and it's on the front cover of this book as well. You can see. And I hadn't put this together. I hadn't put two and two together yet, but a peacock is a symbol of pride. Right? It's like, what would you call it? Like vain? The peacock is like attracting attention to itself. And so in this short story, it kind of, what am I trying to say? Anyways, there's some sort of connection with peacocks. I thought it was cool. Moving on. Anyways, yeah, that was the short story from this week. We got two more and then we're done this book. So getting close to the end. Otherwise, yeah, I hope your next week is as good as the last one. Or if your last week wasn't good, I hope this week is better. I gotta stop talking. We're at 18 minutes. Have a good week. See you later.